For a moment, because I know, outside the music business on the side, you've always done sort of some residential real estate, and you have like a clever strategy around that. Can you sort of share about it with our listeners?
Sure, sure. I guess the short story is that the entire game in the United States is rigged for people that own real estate. Okay.
Oh yeah, you told me
The
that.
tax code, everything as it relates to generating wealth is rigged for people that own real estate. And so, to back up a little bit, as I started to make a little bit of money at exploration, I asked one of my smart friends, like, what should I do? I don't want this money just to sit in the bank. I want to invest it. Separately, a lot of the gals and guys that I knew that had a lifestyle that I thought that I wanted in the future, when I was their age, all owned some sort of real estate. And then my clients, my music clients were like, Aaron, if you make a single nickel in real estate, go buy a shitty rental house. The music business is a fickle mistress, right? Like, what's a hit today, it's gone tomorrow. And just like, don't rely on that to retire. And so I'm kind of thinking about this, and I was in my late 30s, and I'm starting to think about it a little bit. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy a rental house, right? And I'm going to go to Bakersfield. I was living in LA. I'm going to go to Bakersfield, where they've got it's sort of a blue collar, sort of agrarian community, good rental market. I'm going to buy a rental house, and I'm going to do this once a year, and I'm going to pay them off, and then by the time I'm in my late 40s or early 50s, I will have started paying them off, and then I can retire, right? And so I've got this thesis about how humans have not evolved to think very far beyond a year or two, based upon the fact that it takes 9 months to have a kid, and based on, it's like we're very much, we were very much, we relied on farming to live. And so, come spring, you better plant, and come fall, you better harvest, because winter is coming.
Winter, you better stock up, yeah.
And so, to think about a 10 or a 15 or a 30 year, I think I got 40-year mortgages now, is this idea that it's hard for us to conceptualize. But what I just sort of suspended disbelief. I went to Bakersfield. I found this house that I thought had good bones, or I found it online, and I'm like studying the streets, and I'm the neighborhood and all this stuff, and I look at Google Maps, the satellite image, and there's like 3 campers in the backyard, and I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. So if the house rents for $1,200 and each camper rents for $600, suddenly that's like $4,000, and the mortgage is going to be like $800 a month. That's a win, right? Now, I don't know if I want to be in the camper business, but it had me thinking about the ability to add another unit. And so that's sort of my thesis. If I buy this thing, can I add another unit? And so the way my real estate practice has evolved is, it started with my own house. I put my own house in escrow. I built, I did the fake Airbnb ad to see if I could get an Airbnb unit on my property. Mm-hmm. That worked out. And so I bought the house, I put the Airbnb. And then from that, I found a house that had good bones, that was 20 minutes away here in Nashville. It had a basement that was, it was an unfinished basement, but I bought the house. I finished out the basement. I did a cash out refinance based on the total square footage. So I doubled the square footage of the house.
Yeah.
The loan is based on the square footage of the house, and so I basically doubled the value of the property. I took that money out. I found there was a mobile home park that you shared with me through the grapevine, that somebody wanted to sell, but it had 25 acres of undeveloped property in the park. And so I bought the park. I got the approvals to expand the park, and then with those approvals, doubled the value of the property. I sold that. The original house with the basement that I finished out, I subdivided that, and am able to add 4 duplexes to it, and so it went from 1 unit to 9 units. And this is the thesis, right? Is that, can I is there an opportunity to add a unit? And it can be anything. It can be another bedroom and bathroom. So instead of it being a 3-bedroom house, now it's a 4-bedroom house. Maybe it's an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, or a mother-in-law suite. Maybe it's a garage that I can convert. And so it just changes the economics of the property, that it's being valued on this valuation based on this square footage and this rental income. And I can come in and I can finish out this garage for 25 grand and make it clever. And suddenly I just doubled the rental income. It's a home run, right? And then I can have it reappraised and I can refinance it based on this doubled income and pull that money out and go do it again.
So, and not many people think like that, right? I mean, so how many properties do you have all in all?
Now we want to,
Or I guess total, like you've sold,
You typically hold them though.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hold them
Okay.
forever. I want
Yeah.
to buy something. I want it to be good bones, and I want to hold it forever.
And then do you do a lot off market too?
Everything's off market if I can help it. Everything's off market. So there's this
And how
app
do you
called-
find those?
Yeah, Landglide is this killer app that allows
Okay.
you to. It's GPS enabled. That if you see something where the grass isn't being mowed or the it's just not being taken care of, the owners probably don't care about it. And maybe it's an absentee owner. Anyway, you can pull it up on Landglide, and then I mail them a letter, and it has 2 sentences. I'm interested in your house on 3rd Street. If you'd be interested in accepting an offer, please call me at your convenience. With my business card or my phone number, handwritten in the mail, and it goes out to them. It has about a 10% response rate.
That's a pretty good response
No,
rate.
but I mean, what I used to do, what I did in LA is that I would have the title company do an analysis. I would say, hey, look, I like this neighborhood. I want you to run title for the entire neighborhood.
Wow.
And then I would filter the results of that in a spreadsheet. I would filter the results for people that had 50% or more equity. And then I would write them all that same letter. And so if they had 50% or more equity meant that they could do a deal.
Yeah.
And this one lady on 21st Street, north of Montana in Santa Monica, super nice neighborhood, was like, she calls me. She's like, are you real? And I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, my husband passed away 10 years ago. I went and visited this, this community, this older folks community. I really love it. I'd love to be able to sell it, but I don't want to have any tire kickers or anything. And I'm like, I almost opened but for what it's worth, whoever says the first number loses in any negotiation. So I almost was like, I'll give you X, but I didn't. And I said, what would you like for it?
What do you
And
want
she's
for it?
like, would $2 million be okay? I was like, yes, ma'am. That would be fine. And so I went over, I did the deal. She was very grateful. I said, I may sell this. I'm a developer. I'm an investor. And she's like, no, I don't care what you do with it. You're going to close on this?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And so we closed on a Thursday. I cut the grass. On Monday, I put it on the market for 2.6, and it sold in multiple offers.